It is absolutely stunning. I want to give some people time to come on here. Shalom, Adina. Hey, Larry, Alyssa, Nina, Hermione, Alex, Josh Frisch, who's normally here with me. What's up, Paul Rambo? Shalom, Monty, Christy. I'm going to get into the Psalms in just a second. We're going to do Psalm 1 and 2, and then Psalm 121. There will be wind. The weather's changing. You're witnessing the clouds coming in. Please God, those clouds will be filled with rain to pour down on top of the Hills of Yehudah, which expresses the blessing that God gives to us. It's stated in the Shema Yisrael prayer that if we do as God commands, then God will send the rains to let the crops grow. And if we don't, He'll withhold the rain and will be ejected and rejected from and off this land. But that's not happening now. Instead, we're going to stand on this hilltop and we're going to read Psalms together for 10 minutes. I promise, I'll try not to do more than that. Now, I'm just going to check the video because I can't even tell if you can hear me. So if anybody can hear me through this wind, I have an audio system I just bought. I have to fix one thing and it's going to be magnificent. So let me know if you can hear me. Hey, Lisa. No, I'm not on Derech Avot. I'm way towards Sde Boaz. Erev Tov, Thomas. Hi, Alyssa and Yisraela. Shalom, Corin. Julie, shalom. I can hear you. Wonderful. Thank you, Corin. All right. Let's start with the beautiful book of Psalms. This one is something that I picked up in the old city of Jerusalem at a bookstore. This is the Koran, which is very interesting because I just said thank you to Koran. This is the Koran Tehillim. There's no coincidences in the world, is there? Psalm 1. Ashrei ha'ish asher lo halach ba'atzat r'shaim. Now, realize this is a collection of psalms written by multiple people throughout our history. King David is the most famous of the psalm writers, and he wrote the majority of them, a single person in writing them. But there's a reason why this was chosen to be the first of the first. So I think it's important that we start with the beginning. Happy is the man, and I'm obviously going to say the woman as well, because it's the truth. Happy is the man who never follows the advice of the wicked, nor lingers in the path of the sinners, nor sits in the company of scoffers. Ki im b'torat Adonai chefzo, u'b'torato yehegeh yomam v'loila. But he finds his delight in the Torah of the Lord and meditates in his Torah day and night. Meaning, if you are meditating, thinking, driving your soul and your body towards the Torah day and night, then you will have a harder time straying off that path of light. And if you really work on yourself, of course we're going to fall off the path. But by working on yourself and by continuing to delight in the Torah of the Lord and meditating on it day and night, you're solidifying your place, and you're, even more importantly, showing God how much you're just trying to live in the proper way. Whatever that means to you. None of us are angels. There is no perfect human. All they're saying is that you find delight in the Torah of the Lord. So if you find delight in watching a video like this, even for the first 3 minutes, then you're satisfying what King David, you're satisfying what's written right here. And this is interesting because we just planted a lot of brand new olive trees this week, all week. We laid the watering system down right here in the same hills where King David wrote these words to the song that became the everlasting psalm that we all open up to when we first start this book. And he says, he is like a tree planted beside streams of water that yields fruit in season and whose leaf never withers. He succeeds in everything he does. Who is that he? he. Who is that person? It's the person that finds delight in the Torah of the Lord and meditates on it day and night. It isn't the most successful business person. It isn't the greatest politician. It isn't the rock star with the most songs. According to the King of Israel, one of the most celebrated kings throughout history, he says, it's the person that goes after that Eitz Chaim Hi L'Machazikim Ba. It's the person that goes after the tree of life, the Torah. Now he says, but here's the warning. Lo chen harashaim ki im kamotz asher titfenu ruach. Not so is it with the wicked. They are like the chaff which the wind blows away. Meaning you see the wickedness. It's appealing to all of us because our soul has to first get through the nerves and the flesh of the human body. And that's all of us, no matter who we are, from the greatest to what we think is the lowest. And we're drawn to it. But when we commit to it, almost entirely without question afterwards, we realize it was just dust in the wind. And it brings this guilt. And we hate it. And we say, I don't want to do that again. And we do it again. And we do it again and again because a righteous person falls off that ladder 1,000 times and keeps picking themselves back up. That's a righteous person. And this is just a plain warning. So when the wicked show you their ways, realize they're just like the chaff or chafe. I don't know how to even... Chafing, I guess, is when you shave too hard. Which the wind blows away. Therefore, when judgment comes, and we are in the Aseret Yemei Tshuva, the 10 days of Tshuva, of repentance, between Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur, between the New Year and the Day of Judgment, the New Year when we crown God as King, and then throughout the 10 days of judgment leading up to Yom Kippur, we're meant to have a ton of introspection, of repair. It's like, imagine taking your car to a really, really big tune-up. And then it just really runs smooth. And you feel it. It looks good, it feels good, it smells good. That's what you got to do to yourself. A little bit of internal search. To be a detective. To find out where you've gone wrong. To find out what triggered it. And I'm not using trigger in this modern progressive liberal sense where saying Trump triggers them to the point where they have to go to a bomb shelter and cry. I'm referring to really getting to the nitty-gritty, opening up your heart and soul, stripping your ego completely, and figuring out exactly who you are. But even more importantly is figuring out who you want to be. Not who you were, not the dirt, but just the light ahead of you. So focus on that light and shoot at it like a laser beam. And you'll get there. All it takes is one day. All it takes is 1 minute to change your entire world. And imagine the influence that has on those around you. It's endless. Like dominoes. For the Lord cares for the way of the righteous, but the way of the wicked is doomed. I think that's pretty clear. I don't think that takes too much explanation. Now, I just want to make sure I'm still on here because I've decided to turn the camera. Wow, look at that sun. Holy moly. Hello, Liz and Miriam. And Shalom. Yochen Frey. I like that. Asaf. Manishma. Paolo. Shalom Warrior. Kelsey. I hit Tehillim 1. We're about to go to 2 and then 121. Lashana Tova. Who is that? Ali Berman. Lashana Tova to you as well. Thank you. I appreciate it. Lenny. Shalom. Raj. What's up, brother? Mark Mead. Howdy. Hi, Pat. I'm ready for a cheddar cheese sandwich with Alan. Thank you very much, Betty. God bless you all. I am going to zoom in just a little because that's stunning. I'm going to stand back from the camera just a little. And then I'm going to move on to 2 and then quickly 121. Because even though I say 10 minutes, you know me. That's the one thing I lie about. We have to relish the words of Torah. We have to speak them with absolute fire in order to get people's attention away from the next cat video. It's true. It's sad, but it's true. I love cats too. Lama rogshu goyim ula'umim yehugurik. Why do the nations rage and the peoples devise futile plots? Yityatzvu malchei eretz v'rosnim nostu yachad al Adonai ve'al Mashicho. Kings of the earth stand ready, and princes conspire together against the Lord and against his anointed, saying, Nanatka et mosavatemo v'nashlicho mimenu avotemo. Let us break their fetters and cast off their bonds from us. Basically, we don't need all this godliness. Let's get rid of it. That's what these kings and these princes are saying. But he who is enthroned in heaven laughs. Yeah, that's great. The Lord mocks at them. Then he speaks to them in his anger and terrifies them in his wrath. I have set up my king on Zion, on Zion, my holy mountain. I will announce the decree the Lord said to me. You are my son. This day I have become your father. That's beautiful. That's Psalm 2. That's absolutely beautiful. Sha'al mimeni, ask of me, ve'etna goyim nechlatecho, va'achuzatcho afsei aretz. Ask of me, and I will give you nations as your inheritance, the ends of the earth as your possession. You will break them with a rod of iron and shatter them like a potter's jar. So now, kings, be prudent. Be warned, you rulers of the earth. Serve the Lord with reverence. Rejoice with trembling. Pay homage with sincerity, lest he be angry and you end in ruin. For his anger flares up in a moment. Happy are all who find refuge in him. That's a big warning, a big flashing red and blue beacon to all of the kings who believe that they can step on the throats of the nation of Israel. I mean, it quite literally says that God is laughing at them. They won't be laughing when their time comes, and it's a time that we are promised will come. And as much as most people hate hearing about vengeance and revenge, and everybody thinks it's peace, love, and kumbaya 24/7, that's the way the world is, you're wrong. The world has never been that way. Never. This world has only seen violence and strife and warfare, almost since the first people. And it isn't up to us to seek vengeance, it's for God. And God has a very, very beautiful long memory. Now let's skip over to Psalm 121 and then I'm done. I'm gonna go home and make dinner for my chillins. Here we go, we're on. Good. I know the sun is set, but I'm gonna rock it. If y'all are ready with me, let's do it. Psalm 121, V'zeu. Zehu means that's it. Shir lamalot esainai el haharim. Look, you gotta lift up your eyes right now, because when this was written, it's really amazing. When this was written, these were the mountains being looked at. A song of ascents, I lift up my eyes to the mountains. Me'ayin yavo ezri. And how many of us shout this into the darkness? From where will my help come? And if you find yourself shouting that into the darkness, you're not shouting it into an echo chamber. You are joining the King of Israel in your sorrow. In his sorrow, it's no different. He was a man that would bleed if you cut him. He was a man with doubts and with lust. Yet he was still considered the greatest of great kings of Israel. And the line of Mashiach, that which we're going to accept all of us together, as far as I'm concerned, tonight, tomorrow. But the point is, he was a man. And you as a man, or you as a woman, you as a human being, you have to realize you are also in that same hole at times. you are also having to lift your eyes up to the mountain, saying, from where will my help come? And then the answer is as obvious as daylight to any of us who have eyes that see, a heart that accepts, and a soul that really soaks it up and then blasts it out physically to everybody around us. My help comes from the Lord, Ezri me imadenoi ose shamayim ba'aretz. My help comes from the Lord, maker of heaven and earth. That's it. He's not saying my help comes from my daddy. He's not saying my help comes from my mommy. He's not saying my help comes from somebody that's supporting me. He's saying the only help we can rely on. Again, this is a king saying this. Show me a king today that would stoop to such a low level to admit to the world that he relies on something else for guidance and power. Al yitain lamod raglecha al yanum shomrecha. He will not let your foot slip. He who guards you does not slumber. And boy, does this signify everything that I try to live for. And so many of you watching this are the exact same, no matter where you find yourself in the world. This is you. You ready? Hinei lo yanum velo yishan shomer Yisrael. Indeed, the guardian of Israel neither slumbers nor sleeps. Even when you feel that God has departed from your life, it says right here that God never slumbers and sleeps. God is always there. It's only a matter of when we decide to let go and realize it isn't up to us ever to try and judge God. It's only up to us to change the way we are, to accept judgment. The Lord is your guardian. The Lord is your shade at your right hand. The sun will not strike you by day, nor the moon by night. I just saw the sun and the moon is right here over Judah. The same moon that the psalmist was looking at when he wrote this. Adonai shomrecha, Adonai tzilcha yad yaminecha, yomam hashemesh lo yakeko, v'yareach balaylo. Adonai yishmorcha mikol ro, yishmor et nafshecha. And I love this line almost more than any other line in the entire book of Psalms. The Lord will guard you from all harm. What does that mean to somebody as spiritually magnificent as a David? Or as you, who are still proclaiming God's name in unity with Israel today, in a day and age where half the world has gone completely nuts? Simple. David is saying the Lord will guard you from all harm. How? By guarding your life. But what is nafshecha? Nefesh is the soul within you. It isn't just physically guarding your life. More importantly, it's guarding the ruchani. It's guarding the godliness that you've built inside of you day in and day out, that you've struggled for. Because that is the candle, that is the light that passes from generation to generation. Not the airplanes you buy, not the houses you own. Those are fake inheritances that your children will kill each other for. It will destroy your family. You've seen it and I have. But the one thing that will guard your life and the lives of your children to be extended on this land or to be extended on this earth in peace and love and happiness, and most importantly in righteousness, is the soul within you. That's what must be guarded. And the only way we can really guard it is when God meets us and guards it with us. Because you know as well as I do, we are completely helpless at times. And then you look back and you say, wow, only by the grace of God did I get through that. The Lord will guard your coming and going now and forevermore. King David, you are here and you're witnessing. I guarantee you by tomorrow over 1,000 people will have learned Torah with us. Over 1,000 people have heard David's words. It's an echo that has gone through every generation. And it started as an echo right here in these hills. How can you not scream it? How can the fire not completely burn you up? It's glorious. Glorious. God bless you all from beautiful Israel. Let me show you the moon through the clouds. I just want to show you what I see. It's just really magnificent. Let me just show you around for a second. Give me one more minute, okay? Look at this terracing. I love the terracing in this area. It's just beautiful. It reminds you of what this place has looked like probably for thousands of years. And when I say these hills were the very hills where King David called his kingdom and King Solomon, this was his playground growing up along with his father, I mean it. These very hills, they haven't changed. So soak it up and realize David walked his flock here. I don't have to go far. Here, exactly where Goldstein's boot is, this dirty Danner side zip boot. It sure is a world different than King David's sandals. But one thing remains the same. The Psalms on that rock, the rock itself, the sunset over the Mediterranean, and the glory of the Word of God and the Word of the kings of Israel, spreading out from generation to generation to reach you like a ripple in a pond. Now it's up to you to keep that going. God bless you from Israel. Much love. Laila Tov.